Monasterboice in County Louth is an early Irish church dedicated to St Buithe, who died around 520 and was closely associated with one of Ireland's greatest saints, Colum Cille. One story about Buithe recounts that he brought back to life a man who had been beheaded by the High King of Ireland. The fortunate man spent his remaining days tending to the monastic garden at Monasterboice. Ironically, it was Buithe's own head that would be the monastery's greatest relic, until it was stolen from the church in 1520, 1,000 years after his death. During the early medieval period, Monasterboice was a centre of early Christian learning and literature, as reflected in the obituary of one of its clerics, Flann Mainistreach, who died in 1056. He was described in the annals as lector of Monasterboice and master of wisdom, literature, history, poetry, and science. Some years later, in 1097, the bell tower of Monasterboice was burned, resulting in the destruction of the monastery's books and treasures. It is possible that this belfry was a wooden tower, and that the stone tower we see today was built soon after to replace it. This 6-story round tower stands over 28 metres high, and originally it must have been even taller, as much of the top story and the roof is missing. Near the foot of the tower is one of 2 monumental stone crosses at Monasterboice. Appropriately known as the Tall Cross, it stands 7 metres high and is the tallest cross in Ireland. It is constructed from 4 stones comprising the base, shaft, crosshead, and a capstone. The east side of the cross features carvings depicting many scenes and figures from the Old Testament, while the west face is devoted to the events surrounding the Crucifixion of Christ. The second cross at Monasterboice stands some 5 metres tall, and though it may not be as big as the Tall Cross, it is arguably the finest example of a height cross anywhere in Ireland. An inscription in Irish at the base of the shaft commemorates Muireadach, abbot of Monasterboice, who died in 924, and the cross is today known as Muireadach's Cross. On the crosshead is a remarkable depiction of the Last Judgment, complete with St Michael weighing the souls. To the left of Christ are the souls of the saved who deserve a place in heaven, while to his right a bearded devil holding a trident takes away the bad souls. On the west face of the crosshead is the Crucifixion, while at the base of the shaft is the scene of Christ being mocked by Roman soldiers, though the sword-carrying mustachioed men must have been inspired by Irish or Viking warriors. The sculptor who carved this cross clearly had a sense of humour. At the base of the shaft are 2 long-haired men pulling each other's beards, as well as 2 cats, one licking its kitten while the other is about to devour a bird. The high crosses at Monasterboice are iconic monuments of early Christianity in Ireland. In fact, they are part of a series of Irish sculpted stone crosses that stand out as some of the finest carvings anywhere in Europe during the 9th and 10th centuries. The round tower and high crosses at Monasterboice are national monuments in state care since 1880 and are managed by the Office of Public Works.